This comet is terrifying astronomers because no one has ever seen anything like this before. This terrifying alien object has been spotted hurtling towards the sun at over 300,000 miles per hour. And now, Earth's most powerful telescopes are locked onto it to see if they can discover what the hell it actually is. The thing, officially classified as the third interstellar object or 3I Atlas, is coming from a completely different solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. And scientists estimate that it's somewhere between 5 and 7 times older than our own. It first entered our solar system back in 2017 and reached its closest point to the sun until February. It's 2024. That's when all of our telescopes will be focused on it, and when we might finally start to get some answers. It's not dangerous, though. Don't worry. It'll never come anywhere near Earth. Instead, it'll fly right past us, giving us a brief window to learn more about what's out there beyond our cosmic neighborhood. It's an opportunity that we simply cannot pass up. And although the general public might not have heard of 3I Atlas yet, astronomers have been debating its existence for years. In fact, its classification as an interstellar object is fairly new. For decades, astronomers have been arguing over whether or not it is a comet or an icy boulder called a meteoroid. But now that we know a little bit more about this weird space rock, we're starting to think that it could be something else entirely. First things first, though. Let's go over what we do know about 3I Atlas. As it flies through our solar system, it's undergoing a process called sublimation. Basically, the sunlight is hitting the frozen water on the surface of the object, turning it directly into gas without melting it first. This forms a giant cloud around the object and makes it look like a huge fuzzy ball. In astronomical terms, this cloud is known as a coma. Now, normally, objects like this don't form their coma until they pass Jupiter. That's because up until then, the gravitational pull of our gas giant is keeping the object tightly bound and preventing its internal gases from escaping. 3I Atlas is forming its coma while still far beyond Jupiter's orbit. This means that, whatever it's made of, it must have a very low boiling point. To make matters even weirder, astronomers discovered that the coma is mostly made of carbon dioxide. That might sound surprising to you since we typically think of comets as being made of water ice. But carbon dioxide ice is pretty common throughout the universe, especially in cold places like the outer solar system. What's not typical, however, is the ratio of CO2 to H2O. In comets that form their coma around Jupiter, the ratio is usually close to 1:1. But for 3I Atlas, it's much higher. Scientists measured the amount of carbon dioxide in the coma and compared it with the amount of water. This discovery has stunned astronomers because it suggests that this comet doesn't come from a place like our solar system. Our solar system is unique in that it has a lot of water. Most astronomers believe that this is because it formed in a very special area of the galaxy. We exist in a cosmic neighborhood called the Orion Arm, which is home to a lot of stars, planets, and other objects that are similar to us. The water that's found throughout our solar system likely originated from molecular clouds that existed in this arm. But if 3I Atlas really does have 8 times more CO2 than we'd expect to see, it didn't form in the Orion Spur. That would suggest that it's from a completely different part of the Milky Way galaxy. It's possible that it comes from a different arm altogether. But there's another explanation that scientists have considered. Maybe 3I Atlas isn't a comet at all. Now, this idea goes against the majority opinion, but some astronomers have been trying to argue for years that this object is actually a meteoroid. Comets tend to be irregular in shape and vary a lot in size. But 3I Atlas looks perfectly round, like a bowling ball. That makes some people think that it's just a boulder instead of a giant ball of ice. Now, if that sounds crazy, just hear me out. Meteoroids can have a dense core surrounded by a layer of ice. When this ice starts to vaporize, it can form a coma, just like a comet. So maybe 3I Atlas is both a comet and a meteoroid at the same time. A cometroid. Cometroid. I don't know if that's going to catch on. This idea is supported by the fact that meteoroids are known to have a very high CO2 to H2O ratio. They also tend to be much older than comets. Researchers believe that meteoroids form early in the formation of a solar system. When a bunch of rocky material is floating around and freezes up, since 3I Atlas is probably 5 or 6 billion years old, it would have had plenty of time for this process to happen. So far, though, this hasn't been enough to change anyone's mind. The majority of astronomers still think that 3I Atlas is a comet, even if it's acting a little strangely. And there's one last piece of evidence that makes a comeback. Asteroid 3I Atlas wasn't discovered until it was already inside our solar system. But when astronomers look back through their data, they found evidence of it from years before. In 2013, the Hubble Space Telescope captured images of 3I Atlas, when it was 2.5 billion miles away. This makes it extremely unlikely that it's a meteoroid, since meteoroids tend to stay within the boundaries of their solar system. If 3I Atlas had been an asteroid, it wouldn't have traveled all this way only to break apart and release its gases. Either way, by the time February rolls around, we should have our answer. That S when 3I Atlas will reach its closest point to the Sun and begin its final approach to the center of our solar system. It'll pass Jupiter's orbit on March 2024 and reach Jupiter's closest approach on May 2024, according to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The best place to observe it will be from the northern hemisphere, and the best time will be between April and June. Right now, 3I Atlas is flying past Saturn, and according to scientists, it's looking a little rough. The object itself is 2 kilometers wide, which is about 1.2 miles. And it's moving so fast that it'll pass Saturn's orbit in just 4 days. And when it reaches Jupiter's orbit in March, its coma will be 40,000 kilometers wide. It's almost 25,000 miles. If you want to see it for yourself, though, you'll need a telescope. Unfortunately, it'll be impossible to see with the naked eye. At its closest point to Earth, it'll be about 750 million miles away. The last time an interstellar object passed Earth was in 2019. It was named Comet Borisov, and it looked a lot like your typical comet. Hopefully, 3I Atlas will be just as exciting. Right now, it's flying past Uranus and Neptune, 2 planets that haven't been visited by an interstellar object since before they were discovered. So the residents of those worlds are probably getting a good look at 3I Atlas right now. But we don't have any pictures of what it's actually seeing. All we have are computer models. One simulation attempts to show what it would look like if we were able to see into the ultraviolet spectrum. This model includes 3I Atlas's coma and tail, which are glowing bright green in this simulation. Another simulation shows what we'd see in the infrared. Here, the coma and tail glow red. As you can tell, we have no idea what this object actually looks like. But luckily, we won't have to wait much longer to find out. The James Webb Space Telescope is currently observing 3I Atlas, and it'll continue to monitor the object until the end of the year. With a little luck, we'll be able to compare these new observations with the models and get a better understanding of what's going on. In the meantime, the rest of the world's telescopes are preparing for the big event. The Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia is currently pointed at 3I Atlas, and it'll continue to watch it until February. The ALMA radio array in Chile has already started monitoring the object, and it'll do so for the next 6 months. 3I Atlas is an incredible opportunity for astronomers. Just think about it. We have a brand new window into the early days of our universe, a window that formed billions of years ago in a completely different part of the galaxy. Whatever it turns out to be, it'll teach us so much about our cosmic neighbors. Unfortunately, though, it's very possible that this is the last chance we have. After 3I Atlas passes Jupiter, it'll continue flying deeper into our solar system. Eventually, the Sun's gravity will flip its trajectory and send it hurtling back out of our solar system, possibly never to return. If you enjoyed this video and want to help support the channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.